And hello. Hi, Bola, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Oh, clearly.
Very good and
Loud and clear.
loud and clear. Beautiful. Welcome to Ladies Corner Media Foundation, sharing your shows with Taya Nathan. I'm so excited to be here. Welcome to everybody, our guests who are tuning in. Thank you so much for coming. It's been such a wonderful journey so far, right? Bola, what do you think?
Yeah, it's beautiful to think that anybody would take time to watch. That's such a big
It's
thank you, though.
really honoring. Very honored that people are watching and people are giving comments and people are telling us what they want to know, they want
Right.
to hear. And it's really great. So we really thank you
Mhm.
for that. And I want to
Yeah.
welcome everybody here who is joining us either for the first time or who will join us later or who's been our part of our guest. Thank you so much for coming in. This is Sharing Your Stories with Taya Nathan. And we're live. So we're gonna go straight into the show. We have a very short time, and once I find that when we start our discussions, we kind of talk a bit. So I just want us to kind of just start. So how was your week?
Beautiful. I've gone to do a checkup for my tooth extraction.
Just to how is that? How do you feel?
It's better. It's still a little, hurts a little, but it's better.
Are
Much,
you
much
high
better.
still on medication?
I'm wise now.
Yeah, because I know last week they pumped you up with painkiller.
I know. Now
And
I feel wiser.
now you know what, yes, I see your face. You just look wiser and older.
I
I think
grew.
you grew just from last week. Think I made one of the comments I had from last week from the show was that thank you for asking the question, why do you need to take out your wisdom truth if it's not hurting you, if what's the point of it? And they said thank you for asking that because they were like, sometimes you go to the dentist and they said just do this, just do that, and you're like it's not.
I've told you why now, so you can be wise.
So that it's not that way. It can be wise when you can be
Ah,
a different way.
you don't even want to understand the level of wisdom that I have now.
In fact, in that I'm very happy that you've gotten wiser. But today's show, the story that we are discussing today is we're going to need to tap into this your deep depth of wisdom. Yes. So I'm so excited about this. Thank you for coming, and thank you for joining us. So let's go. Any wisdom? Have you got a wisdom moment? What is a wisdom moment for today?
The wisdom moment.
Yes,
Uh,
since you are.
Well, I feel like sometimes you do something, it's not because you have to, but because you should. Like taking out your wisdom tooth.
I don't know. I don't agree that you should take out the wisdom truth. I don't know. But then again, I say when it comes to this wisdom truth and wisdom teeth thing, I'm going to say, don't do what I do. Do what I say. If you need to,
Ah,
go take out your wisdom tooth. But if the pain is going to, if you're like a chicken like me who is scared of pain, don't do it. But if you have to go do it, eh?
yeah, if you have to do.
I
And
mean,
I
good.
find that I tilt my head a lot, my picture. So I'm trying to find I don't know, maybe I should get a ruler to show me.
Hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. Maybe.
But I feel like my head is tilted this way. Well, that's not important. Let's
Well,
discuss.
making me feel self self because when you're watching the screen it's
Yeah,
different, like
yeah. I feel
it's
like
weird.
yeah.
Anyway, so let's go to our show today. I like that. Do what you should. What was that
Mhm.
your wisdom moment? Do what you
Don't
must.
do yeah, if you have to do it,
Do it.
just because you have to, yeah,
Do it just
do
because you
it.
have to. Okay, cool. So today the story that I have, we're going to need to tap into your wisdom wealth. So there's this person, wisdom wealth of wisdom depth of knowledge that you have gathered from extracting your wisdom truth. I'm thinking if you take your wisdom truth out, you should leave wisdom, but somehow removing it
No.
gives you wisdom is opposite. It's opposite wisdom. It's all part of the
Well,
wisdom.
some things in life they are opposites. That's how life is.
Okay. Okay then. So the knowledge, the story we have for you today,
Mhm.
before time goes, is so there's this lady, and I think this story um happens to most people because I also resonate with the story, right? I also resonate with that. And so this is the story. It's not, so this is a story that came across our desks, and it is this. So there's this lady or this person, let's just person, and they came to Canada hmm, 12, 13 years ago. And when they came, I think the economy was bad and the everything, there was no jobs. And so they just had to find work and they started working as I think in the bank. They just, they got them go do customer service, go to the customer service application, and you get to start working at, I think it was CIBC, and they started working at the bank. And after they took the exam, the services, the securities services, I don't know what that exam is, and they took the exam and then they promoted them. But and then they had, family grew, they had children, mommy, daddy, they got children, became mothers, and well, they became parents, mother, and then they invited family over. They had more children. They started to grow, and then they got promoted at work. But every time they go to the bank to work, they sit in front of the computer. They're not happy. They are sad. And before you know it, 10, 12, 14 years has passed.
Mm,
And it's like, wow, 14 years has passed. I left university maybe 20 years ago. I'm
mm,
not happy at my job, but I have to keep working because now we bought a house. Now they bought a car. Now they have credit cards.
mm,
Now they have to do some certain things. Now they have to get dentures for their children. Now, and so now time has passed. They're not happy at their current state of mind or their current job, their current level. They want to do something different. It's almost like as if they have a dream. They want to pursue the dream, and they feel that life is passing them by, and they're unable to um, find, or that they don't know. I guess the question is they don't know. Should I go pursue my dream? Is it too late? And when I also, the reason why this story resonates with me also is because when I look at my life and when I came to Canada, what I wanted to do, actually, even when I left Nigeria, what I wanted to do is not what I ended up doing now, what I'm doing now. And I always wonder, and it's almost like as if there's a rock out there, like maybe I should go turn it over and see where it will lead. But I'm so scared that if I left what I was doing right now, what if there's nothing there? What happens to me if I go there and I go back to school maybe and I go uh, pay money, get a loan, and then I get there and it's like, well, the economy has changed. Because another lady told me her own story, how when she came here, she said, you know what, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go and do what is the health and safety? Is it health and safety, HSC, the health and safety qualifications? And she was saying how she did it. She did all the exams and she passed it. And then before she started, they said there are jobs in HSC and is it HSC? Yeah, there are jobs there. This is just going to be a safety officer, a training officer, this officer, QC, QR, or whatever that is. And then she finished it, and then there were no more jobs in quality control. and that is what she had.
So I just want to chip in something. They'll say, did they follow me?
Well, you know what? And that's the thing is like, so
have I been escorted here? Did my village people come here?
Because that kind of thing, you pay the money, you do the night courses, you go back to school. In fact, when I was taking my own qualifying exams, I'll look at the textbook will look at me and I'll say, this textbook, I will not be mad at you today. The point that I will not be mad at you today, this textbook, because at the time I'm like, what am I reading? And it's not because I'm not smart but there's just a lot. You go to work,
too much distractions. There's too much on your mind.
Yeah. And that is also the fear that, has kept me or people, especially the person I'm talking about, from going back to either significantly retrain or to pursue their dreams. So tell us, let's talk about this. A lot of us are here, we are not happy at our current positions. Instead of we want to pursue our dreams. Canada is a nice place. Admitting Alberta seems to be a place where if you want to pursue your dreams, you can. Literally, you can.
You can start over again. Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, how are you? Because I have the same issue. I don't know if what I'm doing right now is what I'm doing right. And I know there are lots of people out there who are also wondering, I'm tired of being a nurse. I'm tired of being a lawyer. I'm tired of being, I'm going to the point where the money is really not working. It's not about even the money. It's about actually being fulfilled and being happy. And even maybe it's time, to have time. So tell me, wisdom, speak.
So I hope this wisdom does not put me in trouble.
Yes.
Anyway, My own perspective, so this is me speaking.
Mhm.
What I find many times is that we think that what is on the other side is going to give us the joy that we're looking for, right? So many times you say, what I really want to be, Congo. Since I did not get to do that thing, the reason why I'm not so happy here is because of that thing that I want to do. And I find that sometimes when we finally achieve that thing, we find that it's empty, right? That's just on the side.
Ha.
So
So,
it's number one, we don't want to put all our eggs in that fact, in the fact that there's something on the other side, or there's something that if I achieve, say for example, now I'm a lawyer, if I become a nurse, definitely, yes, I am going to be happy. It gets to the point where you now start retraining. After retraining, you're now a nurse, you now be like, well,
you know,
you know.
okay.
So I
Mhm.
find that number one is that we should not put ourselves in a cage. I guess the cage is the problem. The cage of, okay, so I'm now working in a bank, and because the only thing I'm doing as a bank, I can do now is a bank, and so I feel caged. And so because I feel caged, of course, anything that is caged wants to get out, right?
True.
Once you feel caged, you want to get out of that cage.
Well, I guess there's also, sorry to interrupt you, but there's
Mhm.
also what I'm talking about is, so you've come in, you've done the career where you just wanted to use it to stabilize, So you start out, the bank thing is, you wanted to stabilize just to kind of money coming, we can eat. But I'm talking about, you move away from that point where you're no longer trying to stabilize. You actually want to do something that gives you fulfillment, something that
And so
gives
at that point in time, I feel
you.
like you should do, because if and that's where I was going to get to. We
Okay.
should be flexible, right?
Mhm.
I've come to realize that you see this life, we just feel like, I chose a path. When did you choose a path when you're 18? For the rest of your life, you want to stick to it, right? It won't work. So I chose a path. It did not work. Okay, yes, let me redirect. Let me think. There are things to do.
Let's talk about that a bit, where you choose a path in life at 18. And I want us to dwell a bit there, because when I look at my life growing up, all of us that grew up in Africa, I don't know, Nigeria, there were only five things you could ever be. It was either lawyer, doctor, engineer. What else could you be? I think that was it. You couldn't even want to
I
be a,
think it was three.
it was three. What I say five? Yeah, it was three: lawyer, doctor, engineer. And pick it back now. When I speak to my mom at home, she'll be calling people. There's a particular family friend of ours. He has not practiced medicine in 30 years, and we still call him.
Whoa.
Right, retired, or engineer. I'm like, when was he an engineer? Like, 8 years old. But we still put the titles on it. Like,
because because the pride is in the title, right?
that man is the doctor. Can he diagnose? No, no, has no practice. 5 years. And yet the title is like, I look at my mom like, but why, Major General, retired Major General, like, man, it's
You
Mr.
can't miss
now.
it. Oh.
Eh, eh,
What are you talking? You want to get in trouble? Put everything. You
the
put it there, you
right,
now put retired at the end.
okay, right,
Yes.
Reverend Moses.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now that that always makes me laugh. Like, why do we do this? But back then it's like, yeah, even accounting, because I think the University of Ibadan didn't have accounting. I think it was Poly that had accounting. Poly was the Poly Ibadan was the Polytechnic, and so you couldn't even say accounting. Those are not reputable courses. It was doctor, lawyer, maybe scientist if you were lucky, engineer, and then
Because
even
your
economics.
parents,
But
as they were having you, I don't believe as they were having you, as they had the first child, this one will be a doctor. They have the second, this one will be a lawyer. They have the third, this one will be an engineer. In fact, there's something funny about this. I'm not shaming anybody, but in light of what you're saying, I know a family where what's the word to call the father is what calling his children. Oh. When he's calling the children, he'll be calling them by their titles. Firstborn, this secondborn. So, for example, say we are here together, we want to pray. It's okay. So pray for my children. Doctor,
the lawyer,
engineer,
Jesus.
barista. And I remember I'm like, okay, this.
Tell me what to call people, right? Like, yeah, I don't blame the man. That's a higher level of prophecy.
And this man has been no, they are actually it now, right?
But see, the man sound
But when he had his children, he had been dreaming of how he'd be called daddy doctor,
yes.
daddy lawyer.
I like that. I actually do like that. I actually do like that. Man immediately grab their destiny. Say you before you. Yes, yes,
Hey,
I leave the destiny open. Okay,
you
I
better sit there and do the work.
there's also but there's something in the name. There's something if you consistently say
Mhm.
something, it does grow. So that's also wow, that's a wisdom moment. The things we say, how important are the words of a parent. But back to our
Our
story
topic.
now,
Yeah, so what I was going to say
you know.
is at 18, you wake up and
Hmm,
say, in
yeah,
fact, before you get to 18, you're already under the pressure. People will be asking, so what do you want to be? So what do you want to be? So what do you want to be?
fine, I
And I
get
feel
it.
like because everybody now sells that thing to you that you must choose what you want to be, then we're now 18, you now have to choose a course that you want to read for the rest of your life. And that's why I'm saying not putting yourself in a cage. I feel like give yourself that flexibility. See, if you do the thing, if the thing is not working, let's go back to the drawing board and think of what else we can do. So,
Mm,
for example, me and you have had that conversation of in this society, things that people do not know is that this doctor, this, they have licenses. If matters should go left, you have to get up. You
you're right.
have to get up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You can't just go be a doctor like Nigeria and things can happen anyhow. Nobody's there. Nobody's get to watch you. I agree with you.
And
Yeah.
the sad part is that because of that name, everybody puts you in a cloud. So you're just on
Mhm.
your own,
Yeah.
right? You can't really share your problem with anybody because everyone's like, you are sorted. We were still trying to climb. You are already in the
Already a
cloud.
doctor,
Just be there.
just be there. I don't.
Whatever you are saying, they're saying, yes, big man trouble. Calm down. But you're here shouting for life. I need help.
Yeah.
Or I need to have this normal relationship. I need to just come to your house, open your fridge and be free. Call me by my name, leave doctor, leave anything.
Well, this is for those well, there are some people who actually need you to pull that by their name, right? There are some people, I mean, I guess it's an individual thing. There are people who don't mind you calling them with the respect or the title. There are some people who like to share that title from time to time. But I'm still I still want to go back to the point of where at 18 or 19 we put our children under pressure, or we were put under pressure to pick a life path, to pick a life direction. And even though you know that you're not happy, I have people, well, so why did you study economics? They say I just study. Like, what am I going to do with economics? No. you know.
I chose banking and finance. Why? Because when I was going to fill my form, we had something to do in a bank. So my dad had an investment, and my mommy and my mom went to the bank to fill the investment. I liked how they were discussing figures. And I said, you know what? It is banking and finance, and that's it. Imagine how I choose what I want to be. And this is a decision for how many years? 40, 50,
Yeah,
60?
look at
No,
that.
no,
It
no,
shouldn't be, but but
no.
we need to talk about the fact that we ought not to, we really ought not to put ourselves under that pressure. Like I chose a
Exactly. Let's free our minds.
yeah,
That's
I chose accounting under a similar how do I say frivolous? Well, maybe not so frivolous. Like which one can make me money quicker? Well, medicine is too long. Law, I don't like. I don't like it. Accounting, oh yeah, let's go.
yeah, let's go. To
And I'm
take me there faster. When I get there, then I'll be thinking
And
of other
I was
things.
like, how do I get I'm there now? And I'm seeing that the money that's there, it's like I keep throwing the dart further. Like, don't worry, go further, go further. The money is there. And then the money is never quite there. So it's like, should I go back and do what I really want to do? What makes me happy? Plan for the future. Because you can only do this for so long when you're sad. By the time you're in
So
your
imagine a world of someone who chooses to say, you know what I want to be in life is to just take care of my kids. Imagine the world of that person.
it's a beautiful world if that's what you want to do.
If that's what you exactly, but I can imagine telling that to a parents that I seen doctor lawyer. The parents like,
No, they'll take you to the village and pray for you. If you,
you know.
I don't know, you can't tell. Like when I couldn't have told my mother or my father. Am I mad? No. What are you talking about? Of course, I did the accounting to honor them. 10 years, 20 years later, I'm now.
Yeah, but I feel
What
like
I
the big
want
thing about it is number one, why I like the fact that go to school or get an education, whatever way you want to get the education, is that education kind of teaches you to be disciplined. It
Okay.
teaches you to sit down, set your mind. It educates your mind. So I've worked with some people that are really not that educated, and it takes a whole lot of patience, because you now realize that this person said this to you and you just, why didn't you ask this question? So their minds have not been developed.
But that's not a
Now, will your mind only be developed in university is a different story. I would not say no.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So in wherever or whatever you are doing, get your mind to be developed. Now, is that going to be in the 4 walls of university? Now, with what I know now, no.
Yeah.
No. Right?
I'm in agreement with that we, maybe particularly of the diaspora, should make an important change in how we find information. I remember when people will come from Nigeria to visit us and they'll say, who can I ask? Who can I tell to help me? And I'd be like, why do you need to tell anybody? Like when I was, I spoke to one of my teachers in secondary school, and I said, he goes, well, I'm like, I'm here. And he goes, come on here now, help me. You that you had landed there, help me apply. I said, no. You can do this yourself. And so I think there's a mind block when it's time to fill out applications or fill out forms or research. We always need somebody to tell us. Why do you need somebody to tell you? Why can't you just go and find the information? Because you know what? Somebody might tell you the information. Maybe the information has updated. There's nothing as quick as Canada updating. Everybody who lives in Canada knows that they're always changing, always updating. What was true 2 months ago is not true right now. You know,
correct.
Every agency constantly updates. So even if somebody's giving you the information and you think, this is what they said, if you don't go and find out yourself, you know, there's so many stories that I can share even personally, or that I've heard from people that, you know, somebody told them something, when they you know, either use the information for good and it didn't help them, and then when they went and found out, they regretted the fact that they hadn't just picked up the phone call, you know. So sometimes just a phone call away, you know, if you need to call the university, call. Some of us are scared, you know, I want to go back to school, I want to do this, or where am I going to get the money? Have you Googled it? Have you put funds there? I know when I was qualification exam, I'd been looking for loan. I went to get credit card. They said no, they was not going to give me student loan at the bank. I didn't have enough credit history, and I just googled immigrant access fund. I just googled online immigrant access fund, and I went them and I called them and they gave me the money I needed. I didn't know. Nobody told me. I just googled it. Immigrant access fund. It still exists today for anybody who's looking for information.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about this side of the world, right? Information is out there.
Now, information is out there. Trying in North America, all you need is a phone.
Nothing is hidden.
Nothing is hidden. You can find any information you want yourself. You know, Google it, find it, call the number. If they don't answer you the first call, I'm a believer in tenacity. Call the second number, call the third number, find it.
Send an email.
Send an email. They'll get back to you. Maybe 2 days, 3 days. Because you see, things change. And you shouldn't, there's so much information out there that you shouldn't be losing out on things you really want to do. You don't know what information you can find if you look for it. You know, so
I like I said, back to open-mindedness, right? Once you come into a new environment, there are 2 things. First, pay the bills. Do what to pay the bills. It does not matter. Do it. Pay the bills, right? While they are paying the bills, then you can start thinking, okay, what do I really like to do?
Yeah.
Go and get information. Get information. It is possible, you know. Open your mind up to start again if you have to start again. Open your mind up to retrain. Open your mind up to, don't say because that's I set my mind to become this, I have to stick with that. If that is not what you like to do, open your mind up. What works in that society?
You know what? I also want to speak to our medical professionals back home. Sorry, not back home, but our medical professionals who come from wherever and to Canada, especially. And my understanding, I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, or a pharmacist, or a nurse, but my understanding is that to retrain to be a medical doctor or a pharmacist here is really hard, because I think Alberta really puts a bunch of oops on the way, and there have been people who have been medical doctors back home and who really love medicine. And if you know you love medicine, you want to be a doctor, and this is what you're called to do, by all means, go ahead, you know. But what I'm finding is that a lot of our adult medical professionals who come don't even have the mind capacity to retake the exam, because you know down. You've lived 20 years out of your life in, you know, in a warm climate, and you're landing here when it's -20. Your mind can't even grasp the cold, let alone to sit down and actually go and study. So you are not able to pass your exams on your first go when you're pumping naira into dollars into
Mm,
you're losing money, and you're depressed and you are sad, and this is COVID. You can't get out, you can't talk to anybody, you are scared. If I may say, I think that if that is you listening to us out there, I know your dream is important, but if there's anything you can do also in the medical field for now, so you can get yourself to a place to pursue your dream, it's worth that also, because there are times when sometimes if you just take things slow, it might
mm,
it might happen. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you were a doctor
mm.
back in Nigeria or back in wherever country you are from, and you came here and you can't pass your exams, and it's becoming a mental issue for you. Calm down. You
Calm,
know,
chill.
down. Chill. You pass the exam. We know you are smart.
Chill.
You can do it.
Oh
Calm down.
yeah, for sure.
You
For sure.
understand? Or you were
Hmm.
a nurse back home and you can't pass your qualifying exams. I suggest again, calm down. It's not do or die. There are other things you can do. I'm not saying shelve your dreams, because there's also the opposite, where you have doctors back, ahead of the doctors in the Philippines who are coming here to be nurses because they can't pass the exams, and they can't do that. And for doctors who spent years even training, anyway, as a
Mm,
doctor, you trained for 10 years before.
oh, yeah.
Very painful. And people actually do like or do enjoy being doctors. And I understand the pain. I truly do. But I also want to say that if it's not happening right now and everything else is going crazy in your life, I'm going to say, calm down, chill a little bit, get a hold of every other thing, and then you come back to this. Because if you don't do that, you might say that you might just destroy yourself. And it's going
Yeah.
to take a toll on you and your health, because
Would
there's
rather have you alive.
yes, rather have you alive, loving your
Hmm.
profession than sad and
Yeah.
unhappy,
Yeah.
and it's to all of us really, especially in this moment, where the world is uncertain. There's now a 2 week semi shutdown, and COVID is happening, and I don't know if after this I recognize anybody anymore, because we've just been locked in our house for so long, and the normal kind of what is it? Communication you'd have,
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
people will come over to our house, we eat, we laugh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not happening anymore.
Mm,
And so you're not able to release like that. So we
mm,
really, and the nurses are saying mental health cases are climbing because divorce rate is climbing, and addiction rate is also climbing because people are lonely and isolated, and this is also winter. And so I think we need to calm down. I really
yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
want you to
Yeah.
pursue, to the story of the lady, I want you to pursue your dreams. If you're not happy where you are, by all means, go be happy.
Yeah, but don't put yourself under too much pressure. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. There's no rush, right? If it takes you 3, 4, 5 years, who cares?
Yeah, go be happy. I believe that go
Who
do what
cares?
makes you happy.
Hmm.
Don't listen to what like, if you know this is what you want to do, you just don't know how. Pick up the phone, Google, find information. Information is out there. If you
Oh
can't
yeah.
find it, email me lccmediafoundation@gmail.com. We'll find it together.
Hmm.
What you
Hmm.
can do. If it's something that is becoming very difficult for you to do and it's stressing you out, I said, calm down.
Hmm.
Take a chill pill, as Bill Clinton would say, take a chill pill and
Hmm.
um, do something else for now. When
Hmm.
you're a bit calm, and then you go back
Yeah, in the
to
right state of mind as
you
well.
know, what do you want to say to our children? We have, a lot of us have children.
For the children, what I've learned now is not to even put them under pressure anymore. I'd say for the children, let them just even live their life. Let them be able to catch on the ones that we are teaching them. you know, let them live life to the fullest. Living life to the fullest means that let me just love my child because my child is my child. Not because let them feel the love, not because
I disagree.
whatever. Let them feel the love that okay, because you're a child, you are loved, right? Every other thing follows. If you are excellent in your academics, perfect. If you are not, we'll work together, but you're still loved, you know.
The love is not the question here. The issue is, how do we set goals for them? See, the world is changing. When we're
So
growing,
for them, I feel like for children, just let them be, and then you'll be able to pick on the things that they love to do. So for example, some children you just know naturally they tend towards writing.
uh-huh,
Some other children naturally they tend towards math.
uh-huh,
Some other children naturally they tend towards drawing. right? Like my mom would say in those days that they know where we're coming from, they don't send children for painting.
Well, because I'm hearing you say,
But
this thing about how we should leave them and not guide their future. Here, she told me
you
about
will guide them.
and doctor
You
and
will guide them
is
based
making
on
money.
you guide them based no. So you being responsible is different from a child should know that being responsible is that you have to go to work, make money, and pay your bills. You have to be responsible, right?
Yeah.
And so in picking a career, you also have to be wise, not just saying, okay, I like to paint, and then who's going to buy your painting? Right? So you open the child's eyes to those things. Yes, you love to paint. How are we going to make money out of it? How are you going to make money out of it? Because you have to take care of yourself, right?
If your child pulled the Bill Gates on you and said, "Mommy, I want to invent the next Facebook. I'm dropping out of university," what would you do?
Maybe because I know Bill Gates and I'm gonna start praying. If there was no Bill Gates, I don't know.
You don't because the way you
If
ask,
there was, but not, no. So am I fully open-minded? I'm getting there. Right now, where I am at is that I'm like, okay, we would work with this child. I will guide the child. But the fact that I don't want to lose my child because I'm going to be pushing you. What I don't want to do is to lose the child, right? Because eventually, we'll all be all right. They would, if you've trained a child to be responsible, that's the thing. Being responsible. Responsible means that you know that you have bills to pay. In future, you have to take care of yourself. You have to do this. You have to do that. Fine. That means that you have to go and work.
I see.
That's being responsible.
Okay.
So that am I now going to say that I want to say my child has to be an accountant? No, because I find that even these days, some people you see them, what do? You can't even tell their job description. I find it hard to tell. I find it hard to describe their job for them.
Yeah.
Right. But they wake up in the morning. They are responsible enough to wake up in the morning, get to work.
I mean, how do you describe influencer? If I tell my mom, "Mommy, I'm a social media influencer. Help me. How do I?" She said, who are you influencing?
So what do you do? So I can tell you what my mom would say. My mom would say, "Oh yes, yes, that's what God has called us to be. Jesus has called us all to be influencers." So how particularly, or how are you converting that to money?
I like that answer. Like, yeah.
She said, "Oh yeah." She said, "Yes. So Jesus, that is what Jesus called you. You are salt of the earth. So it means that you have to." She will preach the preaching for you. Then when she finished preaching, then she'll say, "Okay, so tell me, how do you now make money out of it?" And so that's why I said that there are some jobs that you can't explain to some generation that this is what they do, right?
I was telling my daddy, sir, what I do now is communications. He said, "Come here, Wambi, come." Again, I want to hear sit down. Let's have this discussion because this is not that at all. And I totally get that, and I'm scared that if my children came and said, "Mommy, I want to be a model," I'd be like, "Hush, model, model." Like, God, where have I failed? Who did I? Who sent them to me? Model. You're half naked around the stage. That is what you're half naked. I'm going to the mountain. I'm not saying modeling is bad, but just from our own background, our own mindset,
But the truth about it, these days, a job is not necessarily 9 to 5 anymore.
No,
right?
not with this COVID pandemic, area.
So, and that stretches our mind as well to start opening our minds to the things. So, teaching a child to be responsible is more. It's like telling a child that, see, because you like to do some. So, if you hear some courses people go to university to study, I'm wondering that, but really,
I mean, it's also,
of course, they've not sat the child to educate the child that, see, it's not just having a certificate. It's being useful. How will you convert that?
So
how will people find value in this thing and pay for it?
Can I also say there was a time when a couple had come from Nigeria and I was telling they had a son in the car, I was taking them to shopping out of like, oh, well, to come and pick you shopping. They need to buy something. So they had a 16-year-old, 17-year-old son in the car. And I was saying, so he goes like, I'm going to go to university, I want to study. And I think he sent some big name course. I'm like, why? Like, why don't you just go do get your trade certificate? You're a guy, get your trade certificate, do carpentry, do. And the mother, if you saw the way the mother cut me, you want my son to be a carpenter? I said, no. I'm so sorry. No, no, man, that's not, I'm not saying, the way she cut me, it's almost like I said, pack this car. I don't want to go anywhere with you anymore. What are you talking about? Carpenter. No, it's not like Baba Mukaila. No, it took me ages to say, no, in this society, you actually go to school. Make more money. And I was trying to say, no, you get your trade. And it was like, no, even if you want to do carpentry, you go and become a geologist first. I'm like, yes. And I'm saying even geologist is also even better than carpentry. Now, I have to not change my mouth because I was just looking at the boy, young 18-year-old boy, go do 3 years apprenticeship, become a carpenter. Before you are 30, you are swimming in serious money. And I couldn't even advise this young boy.
And then he would have his business.
And you have his business. Then if he wants to go back and it's almost like as if I was telling somebody, if you want to go, how about you go be a police officer? This
just be free. Yeah. What do you want to do, right?
Yeah, but it's what do you want to do versus what you can do that will give you
yes, and then you guide the child. This thing that you are pointing out is not going to pay your bills, but fine. If it's going to pay the bills, okay, let's have a discussion. How is it going to pay your bills? How is it going to add value to people? People will only buy value. It's only value people. If you're not adding value, nobody will come near you, right? If you're influencing, okay, how is it influencing, valuing people that people will put money on it?
If you influence the right person, maybe they can pay.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyway, but it looks like as if our time is
as usual.
As usual. But I guess the recap of all this, I guess we're trying to say is, look, there's no one formula to life. You have to really find what works for you. If it's your dream you want to pursue it, you've been at a dead end job, you're not happy, find the information, go, if you're looking for, funding for it, loans there, I mentioned one earlier, Immigrant Access Fund, Google it, windmill lending, financial aid, go online. If it's that you're trying to pass the exam and you've been writing it for so long and it's not working, maybe you need to take a break before you keep putting resources into it and it's not working. Maybe you need to just relax, recalibrate, rejuvenate, refresh, and go back at it. For some of us who are guiding our children, there are professions out there. It doesn't all have to be sociology, law, medicine. There's correctional officer, there's police officer, there's immigration officer, there's CBS border control. Those are government pensionable jobs that we can apply for as even immigrants that we are not applying for. Like if you go to the Government of Alberta website, there are lots of opportunities there. Like I said, CBS border agent, police officer. We need a lot of people.
If someone was telling me about writing medical codes, I didn't know something like that existed.
Interpreting services, teacher, French, and all that, bilingual services. There's so many things out there that is not even in the mainstream. Somebody was telling me being an ultrasound technician, $50 an hour, I know $50 an hour ultrasound technician is 2 years diploma. You're right there. Over time is to know, that's information right there. You don't know right until you find out, and you not hear this anywhere else about this kind of information. So, and there's that. And you know what? And to all of us who have, who have children, let's stop thinking outside. Let's not cage them into this 4 professions or 5 professions. Let's see if we can get them to a point where they can pick something that they love to do and also be responsible about paying their bills, to stand alone. Yeah. That's come 20 years, they're not even back with us, So, I think that's the value moment today. And finally, a couple of things I was going to end with. Actually, 3 things, but I'm going to do the COVID moment for us. We need to include our COVID moment in our shows now, to kind of honor the moment. One thing I was going to say is this is sharing your stories with Tayo Nathan. I should have said that more. Please share. We want you to share. If you enjoyed our show, please send us an email. Tell us what you want us to talk about. We appreciate you. We want you to tell us that. And also, if you learned anything from this show, if you've gained anything, it's from the inspiration. It's by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. If you want to know the Holy Spirit, email me. I will tell you how. LCC Media Foundation at gmail.com. Tayo Onitan Show. And finally, Bola, the COVID moment. Give us what you think about COVID and how we should stay healthy.
For the COVID right now, I think the staying healthy is even mentally, right? Since we have physically been disconnected from people, I feel like we should make sure, or we should consciously stay connected, right? Call someone. There's so many ways to call people. Chat, go and chat. Don't just stay on social media and be watching Instagram and Facebook. Chat with human beings, right?
Okay.
Say how are you? Let someone say how are you, and then just about old school days or whatever. But chat with someone human, that will kind of help you or help our minds, not just while you wait time and then feeling empty. We have to keep our minds working.
Very good. Thank you so much. Finally, my people, thank you so much. I want you to pick up a book today and start reading. If you've not been reading, read. Google something and read an article about mental health, about how to save money, financial health, financial health. And I believe that's our show. I want to thank you all for coming again. To my Wadi Bola of the Wadi Smiles. Have a good week and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. I am going to end the broadcast right now. Bye bye.
All right, bye.